Hey there, welcome. This video is going to be talking about fourth grade math word form. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what word form is. So it's another form, just like expanded form, where we're taking a standard number and we're rewriting it into a different way. Expanded form always was written as an expression or an adding expression of the values of that number. Word form is exactly how it sounds. It's where we're just going to write the words that we would use to describe this number. So for the example, this number is 575. So just as I read it as 575, that's what we're going to write. So I'm going to go ahead and type out what word form would look like for this number. It would look like 500, because we have 500s, 75. So word form is very similar to how you would actually read the number out loud as if you were reading it to somebody. Let's do another example. Let's say I have 435,673 as my number. Okay, so this is where the commas can help us a lot. This comma that's in between here, right here, I call that my thousands comma because it's right in between the first group of place values and the second group of place values, which all have thousand in their names. 100,000, 10,000, and 1,000. So I call this my thousands comma. This helps me take a pause and say the word thousand after I read that little group of numbers. So 435,673. When we get to word form, that's exactly how we're going to write it. So let me go ahead and get ready to type that word form down here. Oops, I'm going to move it around a little, make it a little bit longer because we're going to need it. So we're going to group it in groups of 3 and use the thousands comma. So we have 435,000. Now we don't put the comma here, but we can if we wanted to, but we don't have to. 673. So that's what word form would look like for this number. So whenever you see the comma, you want to go ahead and use that label for the comma in your word form as well. Okay, so let's do some practice problems with this concept. The first one is, how do you write the number 300 in standard form? So we're going to just zero in right here where it says 300 as our number. Okay, so we're basically looking through the list, finding a number that has 300s and nothing else because nothing else is given to us. So it would definitely not be this one because that's got 500s. The second choice has 300s, but it also has a 60, and there was no 60 mentioned in the word form. So we're going to cross that one off. The next one has a 3 in the hundreds place and nothing else, just 300. And that's exactly what we're looking for. That matches this word form perfectly. And the last one has a 5 in the hundreds place. So we know that that is not the number we're looking for. So this is how you would write the number 300 in standard form from word form. Okay, here is our next one. How do you write the number 208148 using words? And the reason I read it the way I did just now is because I don't want to give anything away by reading it correctly. Okay, so let's focus on this 208 in the beginning. And remember, we can use that thousands comma to help us. So we know this is 208,000. So let's look through our choices and see if we can eliminate any choices that don't match that. Well, this one has 208,000. Okay, so that matches. 208,000. Oh, that one matches as well. 208,000. Okay, that also matches. 208,000. Oh, well, we weren't able to eliminate anything. Everything matches. So now let's focus on the second group of numbers. 148. Okay, so let's look through our choices and see which ones say 148 for the second group. 158. Okay, so not this one because that said 50 instead of 40. 148. It looks like it's going to be this one, or we can circle that. But let's check the other ones just to make sure. This one says 748 instead of 148, so it is not that one. And this last one also says 700 when we need it to say 100. So it is not that choice right there. So the second choice is the word form of 208,148. Okay, here's our next one. How do you write the number 146005 using words? And again, I kind of read it a little bit differently than I normally do, just because I don't want to give anything away. Okay, so let's look at that first group of digits and see if we can find a word form that matches it. The first group of digits is 146, and it's before the thousands comma, so we know that's 146,000. So let's look for one of the choices that might match this. Okay, 146,000. Okay, it's right there. That one matches. Uh-oh, this one says 646,000. So this could not be our answer here. 140,000. And then there's a 6 after it. That's not quite what we're looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and cross this one out. And then this last one says 143,000. But we need 146,000. So I'm going to cross that one out. And now we have to look no further because by process of elimination, has to be the first one. But let's double check the rest of it just to make sure. So the second group had no hundreds, no tens, and 5 ones. So that would just be 5. And right here at the end of this one is just a 5. So yes, that first choice is our word form for 146,005. Okay, here's our next one. How do you write the number 237,457 in standard form? Okay, so now we're going to flip the tables. They're going to give us a word form and we're going to write it in standard form. Now, when I was reading that, I came across the word thousand. So that tells me there's going to be 1,000 comma here. So I'm going to go ahead and put that 1,000 comma right here. Now I can look at it in two different ways. I can look at it before and after the comma. So before the word thousand came the phrase 237. So that means that 237 comes before my thousands comma. So I'm going to put a 2, a 3, and a 7 right here. That's 237,000. Now I can look and see what comes after the comma. So after the word thousand, it's 457. That means that 457 is going to come after my comma. So 457. So this is how I would write this in standard form. 237,457. Okay, here is our last example for the day. How do you write the number 603,140 using words? Oh, and I kind of just read it out loud, right? Exactly like that. So let's do it 603,140 using words. Okay, because I don't want to give anything away, too bad. Okay, so again, we can look at what comes before the thousands comma and what comes after the thousands comma. So the thousands comma is right there. So I know right there is where I'm going to put the word thousand. Now I'm going to go ahead and just write that out. Okay, so now let's look and see what comes before that comma. Looks like the number 603. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm actually going to type it just so it takes a little less room here, and I'll put it before my 1,000. So I'm going to type 603. That means, oh, let me stretch it a little bit more. There we go. So what that means is there's 600s and 3 ones in that group, but that group is in the thousands place. So it's 603,000. Now I can focus on what comes after the thousands comma, which is right here, 140. So that's what I'm going to type after the word thousand. So I'm going to type 140 because there's 100 and 4 tens, which is 40, and 0 ones. So this is how it would look in word form, 603,140. All right, well, thanks so much for joining me today. Hope to see you again soon.